Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Telling It Like It Is, a business discussion. My name is Jade Alberts, and I'm a business strategist, influencer, and my passion is helping small businesses grow and succeed. Sharing knowledge and telling stories is why I started the Facebook Live Telling It Like It Is, and it's so important for small businesses and entrepreneurs to get out there, network, and share their stories. So if you have any questions during today's broadcast, please ask them. If you're seeing this on social media platforms after the fact, please ask them and we will respond to them. Today's Telling It Like It Is guest is Darryl Hansen from Filta Environmental Kitchen Solutions. Darryl, thank you for joining me, and how are you today?
Doing well, Jade. How about yourself?
Well, I'm all ready for Christmas. Got my hat on, got my shirt on. I know you and I go way back. You helped. We were kind of there together at the beginning of Nathan's and helped it grow into a national company. And I'm glad to see that you've ventured into the entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's a good thing. So I'll give a brief little introduction here for Darryl, and then we'll get at it. So Darryl is the owner of the Calgary franchise of Filta Environmental Kitchen Solutions, helping local commercial kitchens to be safer, cleaner, and greener. He was the second Filta franchise to launch in Canada and has been running since June 2018. Prior to launching Filta franchise, Darryl's worked in various roles with the major projects, oil, gas, and IT. So I guess I'm sure you looked at a few different franchises other than Filta. So what process did you go through and why did you choose Filta?
So the process that I used was just kind of self-researching. And I mean, there's tons of resources on the web that you can look up basically every different franchise that exists and filter out by whatever kind of criteria that you want, whether that's industry or franchise type or cost or where it is. So I went through a few different websites like that. I knew from the start that, the vast majority of franchise businesses are restaurants, but I didn't have the knowledge, experience, or really the desire to run my own restaurant. So I had to find a resource that allowed me to look at different types of franchises. And then, we went to the local Canadian franchise show when it was in Calgary and went to some of the seminars there. So that was it. I was just kind of looking for a business that was somewhat unique and didn't seem to have a lot of competition, had recurring revenue, and a low startup cost relative to, a restaurant can cost $500,000, $1 million, $2 million. I didn't have that kind of money to put up to start my business. So I was looking for something a little bit lower on the overhead for startup.
Oh no, that's and that is important, especially with a startup, to keep keep a lot of money in your pocket as you grow through some of those issues. I guess, were you able to reach out to some of the other Filta franchisees across North America, I guess in the United States, or the other gentlemen or in Canada for any advice?
Yeah, for sure. Filta's got a really actually pretty tight knit network of franchisees. There's about 150 or more down in the States. And at the time that I was looking at it, there was only one other franchisee in Canada. I actually went out and visited those guys. They're in Woodstock, Ontario.
Okay.
I went out there. I've been out there a few times now, but we went out there before we started with Filta, before we made the final investment decision, and just kind of checked out their operation and what they thought about the franchise and the business and the service, and got a good idea about what it was.
Oh, no, that's great. I mean, obviously you did your homework, and that's so important when you're looking to choose a franchise to invest in. So I know there are obviously, there's hurdles in Calgary starting a business at any given time. I mean, in today's economy, or, what have you seen? How have you overcome them? And, what kind of challenges are you running across?
Yeah, so I guess there's a few different hurdles that I've run into that I'll touch on. The first and kind of biggest hurdle for me is that I in my previous experience, have never been a sales-oriented person. I haven't done business development. I haven't done sales and marketing. So that was the most difficult hat to put on. Being a startup, I couldn't and still can't hire a full-time salesperson that has that skill set. And it's just something that I've never touched on. I've been more of a, from an IT nerd to operational and logistics type roles that were more planning, but background strategy and stuff like that, as opposed to going in and cold calling somebody and trying to get them interested in this new service. So kind of trying to develop that skill set myself has been a challenge, and I've read a few sales books now. I really should have read some sales books before I even started, but kind of naively, I thought that it's such a great service and system and process that I'm going to go in and then we'll show these people, because we do a free demonstration, and they'll see it, they'll see the value, and selling, actually the process of selling isn't going to be that bad. But it's even if your service is great, that's one of the things that I've learned, is that your sales are important, your sales skills are important. So that's been one of the biggest hurdles. And then I guess going on from there, trying to start a business in the current Calgary market and economy has been a really big challenge. Food and restaurant businesses operate with notoriously thin margins, and bringing in any kind of additional costs, even though with our service it's offset by savings on the cooking oil, because we filter it and make it last longer. Cooking oil in general right now is also at a low, kind of like a 9 or 10 year low for cost. So that hasn't helped the economics of my service. But just in general, I think the kind of downturn in the Calgary economy has been a real headwind in just getting people to even take a look at it, even if it would be not much of a net cost, because it's, you walk in the door, people see another expense, and it's just immediate shutdown, because that's kind of the mode or the headspace that people are in right now.
Yeah.
Protecting those thin margins.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, that makes sense. And I mean, obviously it's, sales is never easy, and persistence is a key to that in a lot of cases. But let's focus on something a little more positive here today. But I know when you do get when you do get a client, they see the value, how do you keep them? Are they fairly loyal?
Yeah, in general, all the clients that I've got on love the service. We did a customer testimonial with Prairie Dog Brewing and posted it on social media a few weeks or a month ago, getting some more testimonials. But once we're established and regularly giving the service to people, they just love, because it takes a headache away. There's nobody generally in a restaurant kitchen that wants to service or clean the deep fryers or touch the deep fryers or do anything to do with the deep fryers. So, and if you look at some of our before and afters on social media that we've done, you can see that obviously at a lot of places it is something that gets neglected. So, I mean, there's myriad benefits to our service, and I'm not going to go into a sales pitch for you. You don't have a restaurant. But in general, I mean, we're dealing with chefs and general managers, and they like it to be clean, and they like it to be, we had consistency and quality, and there's an opportunity that a number of our customers have gotten rid of the stinky pest attracting grease bin. So there's a lot of benefits. Once you're in there, you're kind of part of the team, and that's how we treat it, is that we're a part of the team for our customers.
Oh, and that's a very good way to label it. I mean, I love that, right? If you become more of a partner rather than just a commodity, your relationship and your success will go up.
Sure.
I know when you mentioned there talking about social media and how you have to sell it, and I know some franchises are restricted on what you can do with marketing. So, tell us what you've succeeded, where you're doing, and how we can find you.
So we are on social media on Facebook and Instagram as at Filta YYC. Social media hasn't really seemed to drive a lot of business for me. Really, Filta's not restrictive on what we can do. They do have some great marketing material that they provide us that we hand out to people. But in general, and this is what Filta's found as well, we find that we need to just get into the restaurant, get in front of the decision maker, and actually just show them what it is that we do. It's a new service up here. So, just a picture, just a brochure isn't necessarily going to help with getting them really wanting the service or closing. Yeah. So I've had to generally what's worked for us is just going around knocking on doors, cold calling, and talking up the service. So, and then doing a demonstration and possibly a trial, but we don't have any contracts. So really our service is always on trial every week.
Well, no, and that is interesting. And I'm sure obviously as you start going and you get these testimonials, you're doing a lot more video and showing things and rather than just photos, because it's a little more powerful. Do you find that?
Yeah, for sure. The video testimonial that we did do was great. You got to overcome sometimes if people are reluctant to do video, and I don't want to pressure anybody to do that if they're not comfortable. I mean, I'll take a written testimonial or just word of mouth, whatever you can do is awesome and appreciated, right?
Yes.
But yeah, I hope to get more into the richer media like video than just pictures. But for before and afters, that's kind of the best vehicle for me without having an hour long of us scrubbing down a dirty fryer.
and in your situation, it is a little more difficult trying to pioneer a new service in I guess in a city that is, or an industry that's not used to outsourcing that. So obviously overcoming that has been a little bit of a challenge, I would imagine. Yeah,
that's definitely been an obstacle. People do it themselves right now, or sometimes don't, as is the case. But generally, yeah, we've been doing it this way for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and don't see a reason to change. And you just kind of got to convince them to give you a chance to show them that there is a reason to change.
No, absolutely. And I mean, and obviously you said, you started in June 2018. So you're coming up on your 6-month anniversary, I guess in 6 days. And my last question I always ask is, if you have, one piece of advice for somebody, a small business, an entrepreneur that's going to start up or is just newly running, what would that be, Hans?
It would be that sales is important, and educate yourself on that. Try and hone that skill. And I mean, I think that actually carries over to more than just if you're small business or an entrepreneur. It's critically important for your business. But just in general, knowing some of those sales techniques is going to help you in life in general. You're going to see when somebody is actively trying to sell you because you've read about the technique that they're using on you, right? It's just going to help you in other aspects of your life, and that's what I've found as well. Just after educating myself, even though I had no interest in sales previously, it's worth picking up a few good, highly recommended books and reading them just to expand your own skill set and knowledge.
And absolutely hit that. I mean, that is perfect. A perfect answer. Knowledge is power, and it's nice to have another person into the world of sales. So welcome.
Yeah.
I know it is important, and that networking and relationship building goes a long way. And one of the key words that you said was a referral, and anytime you can get a referral from somebody that you've done business with is 1,000 times more powerful than any type of piece of paper or video that you can show them. So
Absolutely, yeah.
No, that is excellent, Hans. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. That is excellent.
Thanks for your time, Jade.
Well, excellent. And so if anybody has any questions, please ask them. Darryl and I will be able to answer them at any given time. I appreciate you guys joining me. Again, Darryl, thank you for joining. And you'll be able to check out the Filta link in the comment sections. And I hope everybody has a great week. And we will see you next Wednesday. Have a good one, Hansen. Have a good one, everybody.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.